So I was recently going to set myself the challenge of trying to build a rainbow beacon in survival. If you don't know, a rainbow beacon is a really cool project, but one that takes a very long time because you have to kill the wither at least 10, 15 times. You've got a bunch of iron, gold, or diamonds, as well as a bunch of stained glass, and all in all, it's the sort of thing that can take hours, if not tens of hours to do. And I realized, you know what, it's okay, you've been setting yourself way too many big projects recently, why not instead focus on something a little bit smaller? So today, I figured I'd share some of the ideas I had for projects that could be done within the hour, but still are quite cool, and still are things I actually personally want to do, and yeah, hopefully you do all enjoy the video. If you do, please do like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like this sort of video, going on smaller projects that you can actually do and, you know, finish, maybe even while you're watching the video. With that said though, let's get straight into it, shall we, with the first idea, which has to be a nether portal. So most of you probably do have a nether portal somewhere in your world, because you need it for a bunch of stuff, and if you don't, or I guess even if you do, making a nether portal is a really cool project that honestly most of the time goes into getting the obsidian for, because you need, you know, at least 10, 20, 30, 40 obsidian to get it, which is a decent amount of time, but after you've got the obsidian, the build itself actually takes like 5 minutes and can be really, really cool, as well as really intimidating. So a couple of ideas I had to make a nether portal cooler, because we all know you can make a nether portal any size you want, as of, you know, an update ago on the console and a couple of updates ago on the Pocket Edition. Because of that, now you can make yourself a giant portal, but if you want to make portals a little bit cooler than that, first of all, there's the custom shape portal. So this is something you might see a lot in builds and be confused as to how they do it, because this is an X-shaped portal. Basically, it's a really simple visual illusion where you put a second layer of obsidian in front of the portal, and you can give it this kind of effect like it's an X shape, or if you do it the reverse way around, so you can see this exact same thing on the other side, it looks like it's just kind of a slightly faded out thing. I really like it on either, you know, location, and if you want, you can put a name in there. You can put any form of cool build you want in there, depending on the size, which I think is just awesome. So yeah, the first thing you can do is you can make a custom shape one, but the second thing you can do is have a bunch of nether portals together. So this is one that honestly, I think the actual look of itself is something that might need a little bit of work, so I'll climb up here to show you what it looks like from the sky. But I think, so if we climb up onto this portal, you'll be able to see that when you actually get to a decent angle from it, it looks really, really cool. It's like seeing a bunch of Matryoshka dolls, but they're all in front of each other. But the second really cool benefit is the way the nether portal effect kind of goes in front of each other, so that's probably not a good idea. But if you look from this side, for instance, so we go up here, you can see how it looks like it's a super nether portal, because there's a nether portal in the nether portal in the nether portal, and you see how like the kind of fuzzy effect just goes into each other, and it's just really, really crazy. So yeah, this is why I like to call like a super nether portal, putting portals in front of portals in front of portals. I really like the look personally, and even if you don't, then I think there's a kind of cool effect to it. So yeah, either a custom portal, a giant custom portal, or just a bunch of portals together. I think they're kind of cool ideas either way. The second idea I'd like to move on to is actually something involving every type of wood. I was thinking to myself, also, let's actually get some food. I was thinking to myself recently, you know, wouldn't it be cool if you could work out a build which used all 6 types of wood? Because after the top 10 wood video, I was like, you know, I think we should try and use all 6 together. And I couldn't really work out a proper idea to use them in, and then I realized, wait a minute, you could use them as the way to grow the type of wood. So basically what I have here is a tree growing farm that will work for any type of sapling. So if you place down a dark oak sapling here, then you can grow a dark oak tree. But not only does it grow trees, it grows trees as tall as possible. So this kind of works like a lumber yard, but it works like a lumber yard for all 6 types of trees at once. And if you can't tell, there's a bunch of string here, which if you didn't watch the string technique video, basically by having 2 string on top of your dispenser, and then, you know, having bone meal in there, so you can just automatically grow stuff. Basically by doing that, you can have the really cool effect of being able to grow trees super tall, getting a bunch of wood, chopping them down, getting more saplings, and basically having just a tree farm that also has a kind of nice look. Because again, I really like the kind of effect you get when you combine the 6 types of wood together. So here's, you know, obviously oak, spruce, and thing. Again, when you have the outside be the logs, the inside be the planks, I think you get a really nice effect. I think this by itself is something I really want to use in something, but if you can't think of something like that, at the very least you can say, yeah, I'd love to have a tree farm, because all 6 types of trees can be grown in a pretty close location, and you could probably make a really cool outside of the building. In fact, that's something I was doing on my Let's Play world a while ago. So maybe that inspires you, the lumberyard idea. Maybe the 6 types of wood together inspires you, you know, all the wood scaling along and being equal. But if it doesn't, let's move on to the third idea here, which is the giant pig you see up here. So you might look at this giant pig and think, why? And some other such questions. But the thing about this giant pig is it is really cool for a bunch of different reasons. So the thing I thought was cool about this is, usually, you might have seen I built like a giant panda, a giant chicken, as well as, I think I've built like a giant most mobs at this point, and you might think, that's really cool, I'd like to have that in survival. But if you ever try, because I've tried a couple of times, it's like, oh, so much wool is needed. So I wanted to try and work out a statue of an animal that's really quick to build, again, less than an hour, and could be built from something you can find naturally. And this is why I came up with the pink stained clay, a pig right here, because as you can see, it's a really simple build. It's just 3x2x2 legs with a small body on top of it, and then you put the face on, and then boom. It's really simple, but it is just a kind of giant pig that you can build within the hour. And because all of the stained clay can, of course, come from a mesa biome, that's something you can do there. Also, this is just something I did for realism points. If you trap a pig inside the giant pig will actually oink. So you might be able to hear it if you listen really carefully. There is actually oinking noises in the background, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, idea number 3 here, build a statue of something. Use stained clay you can find from mesa biomes, because again, even though they don't give you the most massive amounts, you can get like 2 or 3 stacks, build a statue, and have a pig statue or a sheep statue, or I believe I used to have an ocelot here, but something might have happened to it. But yeah, that said, that's the 3rd smaller building idea. The 4th one involves us going along our very nice road. It's a very short road, but it's a very nice road that leads to the Mecha enchantment table. So this was I saw just a random image while I was searching for some stuff, and I was like, that is the coolest idea, because basically, enchantment tables are something everyone needs at some point, and this is a level 30 enchantment table, so we can put our stuff in there and get a level 30 enchantment. Efficiency 4 in this case, how nice. But yeah, basically everyone's going to need them at some point, right? We all need to go in there. But the really cool thing about this particular format of it is the fact that obviously it's an enchantment table, but it's also a really cool thing that can just kind of stand alone in your world, and it's kind of like, oh, Mecha enchanting robot moves around, enchants your stuff, and if you want, you could even close up the front. I just think, the idea of a robot inside Minecraft is something I've never really seen executed too well, but when you combine it with this, to me at the very least, I was just like, I love this idea so much, and I worked on my own custom one. So if the idea for a robot in Minecraft is good enough for you, that's cool, but if you want to combine it with your enchantment table, I just feel like this is the coolest concept, and I know that's probably just me and like one other person that's confused with that, but still, I really do quite like it. And yeah, the Mecha enchantment table, Mecha really anything is the coolest idea, and I think having your house be a giant robot is also a cool idea. But if that hasn't sold you enough, let's move on to the final idea here, which is probably the weirdest one, because it's also, where'd my diamond pickaxe? There it is. It's probably the weirdest one because it's the least kind of formatting. So if you want to believe instead that this isn't the one, then my next idea is a bridge. So that can be you having your 5 ideas. But if you do want a slightly bizarre idea, my next idea is going to have to be a giant floating platform in the sky. So have you ever gone to the point in Minecraft where you're like, I just don't have any creativity right now, but I do want to build, and that might just be me. But basically, yeah, the idea I have here. By the way, slime blocks to jump up to a ladder is one of my favorite ideas. But then your next idea might have to be having a giant platform in the sky. So this seems like a super bizarre one, and to a decent extent it is, but there's actually a few really cool benefits to having a giant floating platform. So first of all, if you make it inside an extreme hills, a tiger biome, or a cold tiger, as long as you make it high enough up, you can actually make an ice farm up here. So only, it'll only snow up here, it'll only get ice up here, and that means if you don't actually have a biome which naturally has snow, you can actually, or ice, you can actually get it up here naturally. But second of all, it's really, really easy to build. There's no thought required. It's just like, I'm gonna build a giant platform. You can make it as big or as small as you like. Here you can see, this is like a 12 by like 8 one. This took me literally 10 minutes after I built the giant tower up here. Very, very easy, and very easy to extend. So you make it as big as small as you want. And then obviously on top of having the idea of ice up here, as well as, being able to build something secret. Like, did you know this was up here before? It's not a very big build, but it's something, and we can actually finish up the rest here. But yeah, as well as being able to have like secret stuff up here, as well as being able to potentially grow ice up here. There's also the secondary benefit, which is being able to get mobs during the day. So I'm going to jump on the slime block and hope this all goes well. So yeah, basically, as you all are probably aware, having darkness in the day is something that's actually quite useful because, a lot of people, if you want to find gunpowder, you have to go outside at night, and you have to do it that way. If you want to find skeletons, etc., you either have a mob spawn or you have that stuff. And if you want to find, that stuff all during the day, if you make a big enough platform, not only are you going to, make this giant thing here, but you're also going to have a very clear mark on the map, so you can have it be like so you can see, just having that many blocks has made like a 2x2 little square. It might be a little bit bigger, of brown dark oak. You can do this with anything, any color, any shape. You can make a giant T, you can make a giant cross, you can make whatever you want as long as you know exactly what you're doing, and that's the coolest thing to me. It's a very easy build to make. It requires next to no thought, but there's a bunch of cool consequences for it, and I figured that'd be something worth mentioning, because sometimes I, at the very least, are just like, I'm not sure what to build, I'm just going to build a thing, and if any of you are also in that mindset, then maybe that's that. If that's not your thing, then maybe the giant animal statue using stained clay is your thing, or the Mecha enchantment table, the lumberyard, the giant portal, or if none of those 5 ideas are for you, then you know what, maybe you should just go and build a rainbow beacon. Go kill the wither like 20 times, which requires killing at least, 60 times, 40, at least 2,400 wither skeletons if you don't have a fortune sword. Yeah, go do that. Go do that instead. But yeah, with that said, hope you did all enjoy today's video. If you did like it, please do like it, let me know, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos just like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and goodbye.